everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leanna if you're new, and if you don't know, I have been selling press-on nails since September, and by some Christmas magic miracle, I broke even on Christmas Day, which I was really excited about, and I'm really grateful to have been getting consistent orders as of the past few months. I made a video a while ago about making the nails themselves, so today I thought I would share how I packaged the orders so you can see the whole process from beginning to end. Alright, so the first thing that I do when I get an order is get the box prepared. Everything I use is linked below in the description box, by the way. I know I got a few questions last time about the stuff that I use. So each order does come with a free tube of nail glue, but some people prefer to use adhesive strips, so I have them as an add-on. This customer ordered 4, so I put 4 into this gold mesh bag, and then I went ahead and added some cute flower stickers just as a little something something, and I just recently got these square business cards that I'm obsessed with, and they fit into my boxes pretty perfectly. So on the front it says Leanna nailed it, made especially for, and I write their name for a personal touch, and on the back it has all the instructions for application. I used to handwrite all the instructions for each order actually, and while I really liked that it was a lot more personal, it was really tiring having to do that each and every time. Like my hands would cramp up, so I just got the instructions printed and I think it looks a lot more professional now, so I'm really excited about that. And after I put everything in the gold bag, I just prep the inside of the box with the magic tape. They call it magic tape, I don't know why. I guess it's a little magical. But anyway, I cut 2 rows of tape so I can put 5 nails on each row, and also a little square on the lid so I can add the nail glue. And then I very carefully take out the nails that I need and double and triple check that they're the right sizes and place them inside the box so that I don't have to worry about picking out the nails from the storage case as I'm doing them. And that's pretty much all I do before I get started on the nails themselves. So while I work on those, I thought I would just talk a little bit about my personal experiences of selling my art and starting a small business, and more specifically starting a press-on nail business, in the hopes of helping someone out there who is thinking of starting to do something like this. So here we go. So as I mentioned, I started in September, and I knew I wanted to do this, but I was also kind of hesitant too because I didn't know if people were going to be interested. I have experimented with one other business venture before, and needless to say, it flopped. And what I learned is that very little people are going to be interested, you know, at least in the beginning. It's very hard to get people to care about things. That's just the cold hard truth. So I just didn't want to put myself out there and make myself vulnerable and then not get any sales or like not get anyone interested, because it would quite frankly be very embarrassing. And I guess I was just trying to protect myself, like my ego. But you know, I still wanted to do this, right? So instead of just not doing it at all, I decided to dip my toe in the water. So the very first thing that I did was create an Instagram page where I would just post my nail art just to pique some interest, you know, gauge people's reactions. But I wasn't selling it. It was just an art page to show the nail art that I did. And I had some people message me saying that they would be interested in buying. So I was like, okay, great. So there's definitely a market for these press-on nails. So that instilled some confidence in me, and I started thinking about what to do to start selling. And so I was trying to get everything set up, and that included determining the prices. I was kind of looking at other people who sold press-on nails and how much they were selling their nails for, but you know, I also wanted to ask my audience how much they would pay. Of course, when I started my nail page, I didn't really have much of an audience. My audience was just, you know, my Instagram followers on my main page. So what I did was I posted an Instagram poll on my main page, and I asked people if they were interested in buying, how much they would be willing to pay for one set. And like 30-something people answered the poll, and so I just assumed that those were all going to translate into orders, but no, that was very naive of me. For one, some people just answer Instagram polls just for no reason, or like by accident, like their finger slipped. Like, you know that meme that goes like, I go through Instagram polls so quick, like I don't even see what I'm tapping, like sorry if I called your dog ugly. Like it's kind of like that. Like maybe some people might, like, you know, the slip of the finger, or like, you know, even if they aren't interested, they'll just answer them. And you know, for another thing, in the case that people are actually interested, it doesn't mean that they're going to buy. Adding to cart and checking out are two separate things, because adding to cart doesn't require any commitment at all. Saying you're interested doesn't require any commitment at all, but you know, buying does. So anyway, based on people's responses to that poll, I determined the prices and got everything set up, and I started selling. And for the first day, I offered a promo. I was like, okay, if you order today, you get 20% off whatever you order. And I expected people to order like, oh, this is the one time that she's doing a discount, so you know, better hop on this. But I only got 2 orders the first day when I was expecting at least 10. So that was very disappointing. And from that, I learned that even if people say they're interested, it doesn't matter. It's not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. When I first started, every time I would post a new design to my page, what I would do is also share it on my main page, like on my story. And one thing that I noticed was that I would see in my insights that people were tapping on my username. So they were tapping to go see what was on Leanna Nailed It, to, look at my pictures, but they weren't following me, which was super frustrating to me because I'm just like, why are you tapping and snooping but not following? Like literally. So yeah, I was really, really like confused and just annoyed, and it just felt like nobody gave a shit, like it felt like nobody cared. I was like, I'm obviously doing this really great thing and you have the audacity to not care. But like on a serious note, I know nobody has to care. You just really, really wish that they would. But even though I know that as a fact, my feelings were still valid, I think. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay. Starting a small business comes with a lot of emotions. It took me a little bit to realize that this is how things go. The reason it felt like people didn't give a shit is because the people on my main Instagram aren't a curated audience of people who like press-on nails. A lot of people who follow me are people I know in real life, and it'd be unreasonable for me to expect everybody to care about fake nails. It was just really frustrating to see how many people said they were interested but actually weren't. So I kind of just stopped sharing my nail stuff on my main page because, at that point, if they hadn't already followed my nail page or if they hadn't already ordered, it meant that they weren't interested at all. So I moved on. And I think it's important to realize when to move on from an audience. And I just started focusing on posting on my nail page because the people there actually were interested in press-on nails. So, yeah. No matter how frustrating not selling was, it didn't change the fact that I wasn't entitled to people's support or money, and I knew this. I was honestly kind of frustrated with myself, to be honest. Like, why can't I do one thing right that people give a crap about? Like, I was kind of really beating myself up over it. I was like, oh, my YouTube channel isn't doing as well as I want it to be. My podcast, like, barely anybody listens to it, and like now I do this nail thing and like nobody cares either. So I was just like really, really beating myself up about it. It was a hard year. 2020 was a hard year. So, I felt what I felt. And I know I shouldn't feel that way. But, despite all the frustration, despite feeling like, you're not good enough, you still can't guilt trip people. People don't like being guilt tripped into buying things. Like, there are a lot of people who do this whole guilt tripping thing, like, ooh, I'm just packing fake orders till I get a real one. Or, oh man, look at all these people who said they were interested, but didn't even like support me. Like, I can definitely relate, like I felt that way. It's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating to put all this effort into something, but then like not have it turn out the way that you want it to. But, the bottom line is, people don't have to do anything. If anything, guilt tripping just makes people not want to buy at all. So not a good thing to do. Don't do it. All you really can do is just keep creating and keep going and not give up. Easier said than done, right? But seriously, that's really just what you gotta do. Same goes for my YouTube channel, like there are some times where I feel really bad that it's not doing as well as I want it to be. But, at a certain point, you just gotta stop and take a breath and just look at all the things that you have accomplished and just keep working hard to achieve your goals. As long as you're doing something each and every day to get closer to where you want to be, that's all you really can do. So now I just wanted to talk about selling your art. This is the first time in my entire life that I am selling my art, and I had a conversation with my sister, who is an artist on Instagram and occasionally does commissions. I've discovered that it's normal to feel like your art isn't good enough, or at least in the beginning. Like when I first started selling, I was kind of feeling a little guilty, like, oh no, am I ripping people off? Even though, no, I'm not ripping people off, especially if I do the math and, consider the time and effort I put into each set, I would be getting paid way less than minimum wage. So no, I'm definitely not ripping people off. But that still didn't assuage the fear. I would just be filled with fear every time I was completing someone's order. Like I would always just look at the nails that I just made and nitpick every single little imperfection that I could find about them and just convince myself that the person who ordered was going to hate them. And this took me a while to get over. I don't even think I'm fully over it yet. At the time I'm recording this voiceover, I just made another set last night and I did this nitpicking thing again. I was like, oh my god, it's so ugly. Like she's gonna hate it. She's gonna hate it. But, it's definitely gotten a little easier. Like I would spend like days just like nitpicking sometimes. But now I kind of just like spend 20 minutes nitpicking and then I pack it up and send it off. When I first started, I got a lot of compliments on my work from close friends, which made me really happy and instilled me with a lot of confidence. But I was just like, OMG, what if they're just saying they love it because they love me? You know, not that I thought they were lying to me, but maybe exaggerating a little bit because they're biased because of their affection for me. But, you know, since I've started, I've heard a lot of good things from a lot of people that I don't know, and people who have ordered from me, and that just makes me really fucking happy. You know, art is subjective. Not everybody is gonna like your art, and that is okay. It hasn't happened yet, but you know, maybe one of these days, like, someone is going to get a nail order from me and then they're gonna be like, well, I fucking hate these, and you know, I'll just deal with it then. It'll be okay. The world will still go around. The sun will still come up the next day. I'm still really scared. I'm just really scared of disappointing people, because when people give me their money, the last thing I want to do is make them feel like they got ripped off. But I'm just trying to have a little more confidence and remember that they ordered from me because they liked what they saw on my Instagram page, and therefore most likely will like what I made for them. So doubting yourself is definitely a thing when you're selling your art, especially if you're not selling a lot. You might start thinking that your art is ugly, but no, your shit's cute. You heard it from me. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have been consistently getting orders now, and I am super grateful for that. They have been trickling in, and I'm really happy with the progress that I've made, and having this whole business endeavor to focus on has made me grateful for quarantine of all things, because without it, I wouldn't have done this, and it's like my quarantine baby a little bit. So I am proud of the progress that I've made so far, you know? Like, even though there's still a lot of growing to do, like, I can't ignore the fact that I made this out of nothing. So, yeah, it's pretty dope. I haven't gotten to the point where I want to have like an official store website yet. I'm not earning enough to do that right now, but when I do, I'll make another video. As for getting the word out there about your small business, I've been using Instagram hashtags every time I post, and also making some YouTube videos. Social media is pretty much the best way to get the word out there when you have no money for advertisements. Word of mouth is also good. Not only posting on your page, but asking your close friends or family to share can also help to reach a lot of people as well. I also got a couple orders from posting on the UCSD free and for sale page. So if you go to school, post on your school selling Facebook page or Facebook Marketplace. So yeah, with that being said, the bottom line and ultimate piece of advice to take away from this video is to not give up on something that you really want to do. And this applies, you know, across the board. It doesn't have to be a small business endeavor that I'm talking about. Don't give up. Keep going, keep creating. And I read this somewhere on the internet like last month, and it's really stuck with me. You can make money doing literally anything. I know it's cheesy and easier said than done, but really, don't give up. Don't do it. With that being said, that is all, and it looks like I'm done with the nails too. So after I finish the nails, I put them in the box, tie them off with a ribbon, and I just, you know, stick a little sticker on the lid for a cute little touch. These stickers were free, they kind of came with the boxes. Since this video though, I've gotten new stickers because I think it's super weird that it says keep the packing. Like, they weren't gonna send the packing back to me, and they might want to throw it away, and they should be able to throw it away if they want to throw it away. But I figured I might as well just use the stickers since I had them. You know, it makes for a cute look, but I have better stickers now. I have better stickers. And after that, I just put the box in the bubble mailer, and off to the post office they go. And I had a second order, so, you know, just showing the second one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're interested in starting something or have a small business venture already, I hope this helped, or at the very least made you feel like you're not alone in any feelings of frustration that may or may not have come up. Of course, you can feel free to message me on Instagram if you have any questions at all, or just leave any questions in the comment section below. I will be sure to get to them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!